Now, this is a comprehensive question, but it's quite easy. So first, we should go to the question. So this is the key. Before you read the passage, please go first to the question. After you understand all the questions, then go back to the sentence, to the paragraph. See. Question 168. What is the purpose of the document? The purpose of the document: to explain, provide details, inform employees, or to announce. Then the word compliance in paragraph 1, line 2 is closest meaning to, remember, compliance, ada flexibility, diversity, comparison, and accordance. And 170, which is not mentioned as a qualification for driving company vehicle. Which is not mentioned as a qualification for driving company vehicle. According to the document, what will not disqualify an individual from using company vehicle? I remembered we discussed this question before, but I'm going to review. I will review your memory.
Wow.
So do you still remember the answer? What is the purpose?
Not sure.
Then the word compliance in paragraph 1, line 2 is closest meaning to, and 170, which is not mentioned as a qualification for driving company vehicles. And the last one, according to the document, what will not disqualify an individual from using company vehicles? Northridge Technology Vehicle Policy. See in the title, Northridge Technology Vehicle Policy. And the first paragraph, vehicle fleet purpose. Does anyone want to read this?
Maybe our leader. She's a great leader ever.
Technology vehicle policy.
Mana sih yang ini? Yang di itu ya?
Vehicle fleet purpose.
Vehicle fleet purpose. Company vehicles are provided to support business activities and are to be used only by qualified and authorized employees. In all cases, these vehicles are to be operated in compliance with motor vehicles law of the jurisdiction. Ini tulisannya kecil banget ini.
Sorry.
Of the jurisdiction in which they are driven and with the utmost regard for their care and cost-efficient use.
Okay, so the first one is the title. What do you think about the purpose? What is the purpose of the document? A, to explain employee compensation policies. B, to provide details to recently hired workers. Or C, to inform employees of policies on company property. Or the last one, to announce promotion of employees. Kira-kira apa jawabannya?
Maybe C, to inform employees of policies on company property, bukan ya?
Yep, good. To inform employees of policies on company property. Oh ya, kita udah lama nggak bahas buku. Can you open your book on page 913?
913. Understanding reality of property.
The title is Understanding Reality of Poverty. Okay, so while we are reading this text, I have two tasks for you. First, you will understand the text, and the second one, please recognize some collocation. Do you still remember collocation?
Yeah.
Sunday, we discuss the collocation rules. There are noun, verb, and noun, adjective, noun, adverb, verb, collocation. Isn't it kan collocation?
Yeah.
So first, we're gonna read through the text, and after we read through the text, we will highlight which sentence that belongs to collocation. And the next one, we will answer the question. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, wow, 11, 12, 13, 14 paragraphs. Okay, we're gonna discuss 3 paragraphs in rows, and after we discuss, then we go ahead to the next paragraph. So we discuss the first 3 paragraphs. Okay, the first paragraph. Who wants to read this? Paragraf pertama siapa yang baca?
Yang di modul kan, Miss?
Yes, 9.13.
Until yang ini bukan understanding itu.
Understanding reality of poverty. Sudah ketemu?
Paragraf 1, 2, 3.
One paragraph only. Tapi kita bahas 3 paragraf pertama dulu. So I need 3 people to read this.
Okay. Giliran. Aku paragraf pertama deh.
Silahkan Mbak Ica.
Until about 10 years ago, homeless people in Japan were living mainly in cardboard shelters, on streets, or tents on river banks. Many of them regularly went to places like Tokyo's Sanya district in Taito Ward to find day labor jobs offering daily wages of around berapa ini ya? 12,000 yen. Itu paragraf pertama kan?
Now there are legion of young people in their 20s and 13 who are not living on the street but are homeless in the broad sense of the word. While sleeping at internet cafes, they work as their laborers earning 7,000 yen or so a day. Alternatively, they hop from one temporary job to another and live in the company's dormitories. Okay, next.
Saya baca paragraf 3 ya? Baik.
wanita apa saya?
Ya itu Mbak Kristina.
Terserah aja Mbak langsung.
Paragraph
Kristina.
3.
Iya.
Over these
Many
12
young
years,
day.
I've seen the homeless demographic diversity.
The third
Mbak,
paragraph.
Terus
The
Mbak.
job
many young.
important.
Oh yes. Terlalu semangat deh. Many young day laborers and job hoppers living in apartments without savings become homeless after they lost their low-paying jobs due to illness or other reasons. They are unable to pay the rent and soon find themselves out on the street. I have been involved in activities to support the homeless since 1995, helping with more than 1,000 applications for livelihood subsidies at welfare office.
Okay, thank you. So, what do you think about this? First three paragraphs. What do you think about the first three paragraphs? What do you think about the idea? When you read this, what do you think about this? When you read this passage, what comes in your mind? So this paragraph talks about homeless. Tahu kan homeless?
Gelandangan, nggak punya rumah.
Gelandangan, homeless. The first paragraph, it described that few years ago, about 10 years ago, the homeless in Japan, mostly they lived on a river, on a river bank, di pinggiran sungai. And many of them regularly went to places like Tokyo Sanya District or some labor places. So they work in the factory and earn around 12,000 yen. On the old days, back to the old days, most of homeless they lived on the river bank, and now there are legion of young people in their 20s or 30s who are not living on the streets. So the term homeless is changing from those who don't have a tenant, yang mereka nggak punya tenant, tempat berteduh. Sekarang the definition of homeless changed into those who doesn't have permanent residence, nggak punya tempat tinggal tetap. But these young people, they sleep at internet cafes. Do you know what does it mean? Internet cafes. It may be 24 hours cafe, so someone can stay in there, order a coffee and sleep. Then in the morning they wake up and go to work because it saves more money. Maybe they will use the public restroom. So they work as a laborers, earning 7,000 yen or so a day. Alternatively, they hop from one temporary job to another and live in the company's dormitory. It's like a factory worker. And now many young laborers and etc. they live in apartment without saving, become homeless. So the definition of homeless is changing from time to time. Maybe back to the old days, those who are homeless they lived in the river bank, but now those who are homeless they live at dormitories, but actually they don't have home. So what do you think about this idea? Do you have any opinion? Ada yang ingin berpendapat? bahasa Indonesia dulu. Nggak ada?
Ini solusi dari ini kali, solusi untuk gelandangan ini yang di paragraf 3 kan.
Then there is the ungovernmental worker who helps the homeless to get a tenant. And now we are moving to the fourth paragraph. Fourth and fifth paragraph, karena ini pendek, this is quite short, so please those who read fourth and please just go read the fourth and fifth paragraph. And next one, read the sixth and seventh paragraph also. So I need 3 more students to read this. Saya butuh 3 student lagi untuk membaca.
Okay. Over these 12 years, I've seen the homeless demographic diversify in terms of age and living styles. The family structure has changed, and people cannot rely as easily on their families for support. But the life protection program, which the only public means to provide relief to these people, is not managed in a way consistent with the basic principle of the underlying law, equal and indiscriminate protection for the needy. As a result, the program is not working as effectively as it should.
Next one.
Mbak Evi?
Paragraph 6. Does anyone want to read this?
Yeah, it is very rare, bukan?
Yeah.
It is very rare that requests for welfare by so-called working-age people, those aged between 50 and 64, are granted smoothly. In addition to the fiscal restraints, the social pressure for people to be self-responsible has grown in recent years, and it is now beginning to have repercussions at the front line of social security.
Okay, thank you. And last one for this session, paragraph 8. Paragraph 8.
Yang consequently, ya, Miss. Consequently, a sort of double standard exists in the livelihood protection program. Applications are accepted only when the applicant or the persons accompanying them are well informed about the welfare system. The flawed, poorly managed welfare system did not become a serious problem while there were other non-public social safety nets that guaranteed minimum subsistence. Impoverished
First.
gimana Miss? Impoverished people were supported by their families and local communities, while companies provided steady livelihood and housing through lifetime employment and corporate housing programs.
Okay, thank you. And next one. But families and local communities have become unable to support poor members, while companies have stopped providing such benefits for their employees. So there is a double standard for, see, if you go back to the 1, 2, 3, 4 to the last paragraph on page 913, go back on the last on the last sentence on page 913. It is very rare that requests for welfare by so-called working age people, so working age people, those who age 15 and 16, are granted smoothly. In addition to the fiscal restraint, the social pressure for people to be self-responsible has grown in recent years. So there is a dilemma between those who need help, the wants to receive help, but on the other side, there is a social pressure that someone should be responsible for himself. What do you think about this? So those who are unable to work, actually they can receive help from the company, from the social worker, but on the other side, the society hopes them to be responsible for their own stuff. So this is quite interesting. Menarik kan, jadi sebenarnya dia mau dikasih bantuan dan dia siap menerima, tapi di satu sisi social pressure for people to be self-responsible has grown in recent years. Kemudian, consequently, a sort of double standard exists in the livelihood protection program. Kemudian ada double standard. Jadi, applications are accepted only when the applicants or the persons accompanying them are well informed about the welfare system. So there should be a support from the people surround them to agree that these people need help. So you should agree that these people will receive help. Jadi bisa membayangkan kondisinya. For example, you are the one who seek for help. On the other side, you are willing to receive this help, this kind of funding. But on the other side, you should invite one of your family member to be approved, to approve that you need help. But it might be occurs that your family member disagree with you. Oh, you should work by yourself. You don't need any help. That's why there is a double standard. Kenapa ada double standard? Next, we're gonna see what happened in United States. Tolong dibacakan yang in the United States.
In the United States, the government announced the poverty line, the minimum level of income needed to secure the necessities of life. The American public knows their own living standards. Britain and Germany published data about the number of needy households and the ratio of the household receiving welfare benefits.
And next, in sharp contrast,
In sharp contrast, many local governments in Japan are not all eager to disseminate information about the poverty threshold or the level of income that makes households eligible for livelihood protection. Udah ya, Miss?
okay, thank you. So there is a comparison between United States and some countries, some European countries, and Japan. If in the United States they established the minimum wages that those who will receive funding from the government, but in Japan the local government are not all eager to disseminate information about the poverty threshold. So the local government wanna they don't want to establish the minimum wages, so the minimum salary that someone received, so it can be eligible for receiving a financial funding. And the last two paragraph, dua paragraf terakhir, ada yang membacakan?
Mana ya? The central government ini bukan?
Yeah.
The central government is making no effort to research the ratio needy households receiving welfare compared to those that did not. It is hard not to think that both the central and local governments are trying to keep the realities of the poor known to the public in order to avoid making costly policy responses to the problem. Some people are calling
Please
for
continue, just continue.
Some people are calling for changes in the livelihood protection system. But the first the government should do is to implement the law in a way that fulfills its objectives. Also, it needs to undertake surveys to ascertain the number of households below the poverty line who are not receiving any benefits from the program.
Okay, thank you very much. And now we will discuss the question. So there is a suggestion in the last paragraph. The writer suggests there should be a new policy by the government, so government should make a certain line which one should belong to be called as a poor or not, because there is no certain standard about poor in Japan. And also there should be a survey to make sure that these people who receive help from the government, they are satisfied about the fundings. And now next, question number 1. Many young homeless people cannot rely easily on their families for support.
Assalamualaikum.
Ya?
Alhamdulillah, saya bisa masuk, Miss.
Oh, ya Mbak Wiwit.
Pak Wiwit, harus beladuran ya?
Rebutan sinyal, connecting terus.
Oh, ini Mbak Wiwit di Indo ya?
Iya.
Oh ya Mbak Wiwit, berarti kan besok nggak bisa ikut ujian kan? Di
Iya,
Taipei.
numpang iya.
Nah, minta tolong Mbak Wiwit tanda tangan, terus kemudian difoto, dikirimkan ke Bapel ya. Tolong menjelaskan juga, karena kan Mbak Wiwit selama ini juga ikut kelas online. Kemarin
Iya.
itu tanda tangan presensi, tapi karena Mbak Wiwit tidak hadir, jadi tidak bisa tanda tangan. Nah, dari pihak Bapel menyarankan supaya Mbak Wiwit mengirimkan tanda tangan di foto saja, terus kirimkan ke Bapel dan menjelaskan kalau Mbak Wiwit sekarang di Indonesia, jadi tidak bisa ikut TTM offline, tapi selama ini aktif dalam TTM online.
Oh iya, Miss.
Oke. Begitu. Terima kasih ya,
Oke, terima kasih.
Oke, now kira-kira jawabannya apa, Mbak? Many young homeless people cannot rely easily on their families for support. Why?
Paragraf 4, Mas. Ada paragraf 4 nanti.
So what is the answer? A, B, C, D. What is the writer suggesting in the following sentences? Many young homeless people cannot rely easily on their families for support. Kira-kira why? Why the young homeless people cannot rely? Paragraph 4. Because the family structure has changed and people cannot rely as easily on their families for support. So the correct answer is yeah, that's true. And based on the option, what do you think? Which one is suitable? Kira-kira mana? Berarti kan ini memang karena the family structure has changed. So the correct answer is, based on this statement, it represents that the suitable answer is A. Over the 12 years, I've seen the homeless demographic diversify in terms of age and living styles. Kenapa? Karena memang sudah living style-nya berubah. Kemudian ini selanjutnya. Application for the Livelihood Protection Program is known only to limited person. Jadi pendaftaran untuk perlindungan keluarga itu hanya diketahui beberapa orang. Terus, what is the writer suggest? Number 2.
C. Consequently, a sort of double standard exists in the livelihood protection program. On paragraph 7 ya, Miss.
Okay, that's good. So because the application for a livelihood protection program is known only to limited person, and consequently a sort of double standard exists in the livelihood protection program. And the last one. There are still a number of our households below the poverty line. And what the writer suggests? What does the writer suggest us to do? There are still a number of households below the poverty line. Okay, do you have any idea? Tadi udah dibahas nih. The last paragraph.
B.
Yeah, that's correct. Also, it needs to undertake surveys to ascertain the number of households below the poverty line who are not receiving any benefit from the program. Good. Bentar, saya save dulu ya video.